Hey, what's going on, guys? So it is time once again for the Anaheim Reptile Super Show here in Anaheim, California. This is one of the biggest, baddest, greatest reptile expos in the country. I try to make it to as many reptile super shows as I possibly can because there are so many really cool reptiles and amphibians to see here. There's monitor lizards, more pythons than you can count, colubrids, every kind of reptile and reptile product that you guys can imagine is right here at the Reptile Super Show. But as you guys may know by now, I only do the Rattle-On Awards at NARBC shows. So in this video, I'm gonna just give you guys a tour of the Anaheim Reptile Super Show and introduce you guys to some of the most incredible reptiles and amphibians you guys have ever seen. I'm Dave Kaufman, and these are my reptile adventures. Look at all these people coming in, and Brian KUSKO.
I don't count. All these people coming in, and then
like,
you.
You're like hiding by the garbage can as if people won't like...
I was gonna go in and do an Oscar the Grouch thing.
Dude.
Just pop out and be like, those aren't free!
We have to do that. I'm just trying to get a shot of everybody coming in to start off this video.
Yeah, you can just have mine.
Well, here, why don't I just kind of do... I'll just put my camera right here next to your camera. There. See, now I got a better shot, is what I got, than your shot. So this expo is just getting started. Look at this behind me. Thousands upon millions of people are walking through that door right now. This whole place is going to be packed, and there is so much to see here. We're gonna get started, and I don't know, I'm just gonna walk from booth to booth and show you guys a bunch of really cool reptiles. So you know what doesn't get enough love in the reptile world, other than me? Well, that would be blood pythons. And there's a table here that specializes in some of the most amazing blood python morphs you guys have ever seen. I know I said that in the intro, but we're gonna go over and talk to Allie and have her show off some of the most amazing blood python morphs you guys have ever seen. I gotta come up with some new dialogue. All right, so this is Allie from Giant Keeper Reptiles. Where are you out of?
Arizona.
Arizona. Where in Arizona?
North Phoenix.
North Phoenix. So you have one of my favorite blood python morphs. That is a magpie. I just love magpies. For those who aren't really familiar with magpies, what makes a magpie?
That would be two golden eyes makes a magpie, so this would be the super form.
The super form of a golden eye. We'll look at a golden eye in just a second here. So, as we understand genetics, there are codoms and there are what's called visual codoms. And a golden eye is a visual codom that makes a super form, and this is that super form. So, how long have you been working with bloods?
Specifically, exclusively since 2008.
Since, oh, so a long time now.
A long time.
Because, you know, you look around this expo and there are just, I mean, look at how huge this expo is. I think you're the only one exclusively working with blood pythons.
I believe that is accurate.
And that's why I wanted to shine the spotlight on you. All right, so we've seen this awesome magpie. There's a couple of others that you have here that are just as exciting.
Yes, sir.
So this is a pale gray.
It's a recessive trait, and unless you see them in person, you don't really appreciate them
as
much.
Course.
They do not photograph well. Tracy Barker obviously was the first one to have an imported male. You can see the grayness in the sides. He's a little more yellow than some of our other examples. I have some females that their heads are just ash gray.
Oh, really?
And they do seem to fire up and fire down also.
That is one gorgeous morph. All right, so we talked about how the magpie is the super form of the goldeneye. Here is a goldeneye, but this is a little bit more than just a goldeneye.
Right. This is from the Lily line, which is a line bred trait that the Barkers also started working with, and it tends to go much redder and darker.
And if we look at his eyes, you can definitely see why this is called a goldeneye. Because of the golden eyes, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Good,
Yes.
good. I got it. Good.
I sold the male already. These guys are 6 to 7%.
I can keep this going forever, dude.
Me too.
So who doesn't love bearded dragons? They are like the perfect pet lizard. They come in all sorts of patterns and colors. They are personable. They are awesome. I don't know really anybody that doesn't love bearded dragons. Well, over at Dragon's Den Herpticulture, Kevin works with some of the most amazing bearded dragons. I'm not even gonna say it, but they are the best bearded dragons that you've ever seen. All right, so this is Kevin Dune at Dragon's Den Herpticulture. You know, I've been admiring your bearded dragons for years now. Glad to see you here at this expo because we finally get to see some of your amazing bearded dragons. I mean, right here, look at this, trans and hypo trans. These are just amazing. Can we see like the best one in this bin?
Sure. I think it's probably this one right here. He's cool.
And so now it's trans and hypotrans.
It's hypomelanistic, and it's translucent. So the hypomelanism reduces the dark pigments and makes the colors more vibrant. And then the trans gives it that kind of a translucent, kind of a chicken soupy color type thing.
That's that might be the best description for that I've ever heard. Chicken soupy.
And the cool thing is that black eyes. The trans have jet black eyes.
Man, that is a gorgeous dragon. So now you've been working with dragons for years and years.
So this will be my 32nd year.
32 years. Wow. All right, so that is amazing. What else can we see here?
Pretty much all I'm concentrating on is red now.
Well, why not?
I've got those are the ones that people want, it seems the most. You know, there's different variations. You know, some are more orange. Some are more orange. Some have like a little bit of combo red and orange. They all seem to get better as they grow, as the pattern fades and the color kind of takes over. But these are good-sized dragons, but these are only less than 3 months old.
Less than 3 months old?
Yeah. And they're already
at that size.
And the reason is because I keep the babies in groups, so I feed them a lot because I don't want them to bite each other's toes and tails.
Sure.
And then I run out of room. You know, they grow so big, and I run out of room. This one is hypomelanistic, which is indicated by the clear nails. There's no coloration in the claws. That's one of the keys of being hypomelanistic. You can see that. Right. Also, if you look at the places that are normally black, see how they're more of a gray or a lavender color? That's because of the hypomelanism. Stuff that's normally brown or black is pale, you know, lavender or gray.
Yeah.
And then the colors show up a lot more. Hypomelanism and translucent, they're both recessive traits. So if you breed a trans to any animal that's not trans, all of the offspring are going to be heterozygote, meaning they're going to be carrying that gene, but they're not going to be expressing it.
All right, so here's a younger one. This one is, what, about 2 months old?
2 months old. This is neither hypo nor trans. It is heterozygote for both of them, but it still has that nice red color.
It sure does. There we have Brian filming his video. We're not going to disturb him.
I'm sure the exanthic influence on
because he spooks very easy. I don't want to really film the same thing you're filming.
Good.
Okay, so what do you got there?
We got the pastel exanthic clown pie.
It's a pastel exanthic clown pie, Dave.
So I have the recipe to make one of these, and I've never seen one before, and now that I've seen it, you want to buy some Paul Pythons that I have?
No. It's worth it. Stick with it. Stick with it.
No, that is gorgeous. It's a lot more gray than I imagined.
The pastel really helps.
That's what I'm saying, is that, you know, you see a pastel axanthic and those colors are really like really dark grays, or really light grays, but really gray.
Right.
And this guy is only so gray. It's not gray. It's only just kind of gray. Right. Is that what you said when you filmed that snake?
He had it pegged as a gray, but...
Oh, a gray.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I just kept my mouth shut.
That's probably what I should be doing right now. So this is Nick from Unlimited Exotics. Look at that. I mean, jaw-dropping. All right, so this is a Philippine white-headed monitor.
Very feisty.
Yeah, wait. Can you let go of my camera there? Hang on. There we go. Got it. Perfect. So what can you tell me about this guy?
He's about 3 years old, and one of the only ones for sale in the country right now. I currently have a 3.2 of these, and I'm trying to produce them, but This guy's awesome. One of my favorite species.
Wow. Oh, look at this beautiful monitor. So this is a coming eye.
Yep.
Now, do you say yellow-headed monitor or yellow-headed water monitor? I've heard both ways. What is correct?
I always say yellow-headed monitor, but either way is fine.
Either way is fine,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, we don't want any, comments from Mike Stefani yelling at me. Mike Stefani actually leaves me a lot of crank calls. I don't know if you knew about
Does
this
he
about
actually?
him. Yeah,
Mike's the best.
he
That's
is.
for sure.
He's the greatest guy on the planet,
Yep.
actually. All right, so these guys also come from Indonesia.
Yep.
But, I remember the days where we would just get in just regular water monitors, and we picked out the ones that were more yellow, and those are the ones that we really wanted to work with. And over time, a lot of people kind of believed that this was just a line-bred water monitor that just had a lot of yellow in it, but it is absolutely not.
Now it's its own species.
It's its own species, and these are probably the nicest monitors as far as colors are concerned, as far as temperament is concerned.
Yep.
These are one of the greatest monitor lizards you can have. So if you've been watching the videos that I shot at Mike Stefani's place, you can see the adults of these guys and how big they get. And they really kind of keep that yellow and black coloration into adulthood. They're just absolutely amazing monitor lizards. All right, so we got time to see one more.
Okay.
And you've got a Bell's phase lace monitor, which is my other favorite monitor species out there, other than all the others. Oh, look at this beauty. Oh, he is a little feisty.
Yep.
I really want to get into tree monitors.
Okay.
I really do.
Yep.
And one of these days I absolutely will.
Trees
But
are the best.
yeah, but you have a big, beautiful Bell's phase lace monitor here, and it really makes you kind of think, okay, do I want the smaller monitors or do I want the bigger monitors? If somebody
Bigger's
has that
better.
question, what do you tell them? Like, if somebody wants to purchase this animal,
I always say bigger is better, but you have to have the space.
right?
Yep.
Right? So
Yep.
a big, beautiful Bell's phase lace monitor like this, how much are you selling this guy for?
5,500.
$5,500.
Yep.
American?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, all right. Wow. That is just a gorgeous lizard that wants nothing to do with my camera. Look at that.
Yep.
Every shot I'm trying to get of him, he's
Wants to
turning
go on my
around.
head.
Yeah. He wants to sit on your head?
Yep.
I
I like the highest point.
I think that we need to see that happen.
It's gonna go crazy. Go ahead. Come on, buddy. You gonna go?
He's kind of like
There you go.
reluctant. And he'll just stay up there.
Yeah, they'll stay up there. They love the highest point. They feel more
Absolutely.
secure.
So when I was in Australia and I was
That would happen right there.
Brian KUSKO,
Yeah, Dave Kaufman.
what words of wisdom do you have for all the people watching this video?
Stop.
Rainbow Mealworms is not only a proud sponsor of this channel, they are the premier source for all your reptile food needs. They grow all of their quality insects in-house, and I use them exclusively for all my insect-eating reptiles. So place your order today at rainbowmealworms.net or click the link in the description below. So one of the things that I love about coming here to the Reptile Super Shows is just the diversity in reptiles that you're going to find here. And when it comes to colubrids, they have a ton of colubrids, but they also have, well, dare I say, everybody's favorite colubrid, and that's indigo snakes. All right, so this is Robert Bruce. I've been trying to get over here to interview you, but your table is just one of the most swamped tables here at the expo. And it's all because of these awesome snakes that you have. Now, you're working exclusively with indigos, aren't you?
Eastern indigo.
With Eastern indigos. And so, who is this just absolutely beautiful snake?
Well, I don't have a name for any of my snakes. I have codes for him.
Codes,
but
all right.
He's about 8 or 9 years old, and he's an all-black Eastern indigo.
So he's got a little bit of pigment under his chin, but he's not really melanistic.
Right. Now, Eastern indigos have 2 color forms, the red throat form and the all-black form.
Right.
And sometimes the all-black form have a little bit of color under their chin. This is actually a very dark blue. Their pigment is a dark blue, and it's
Right.
so dark that it appears black.
Exactly, hence the name indigo.
Right. And their scales are iridescent.
Very iridescent. I mean, these are the belly scales right here. Oh, just absolutely gorgeous. Now, how long have you been working with indigos?
27 or 28 years.
27 or 28 years. Now, in order to get an indigo snake like this, you have to have your permits, and what is that permit process here?
Well, most states don't require permits. The only permitting requirement usually is the federal permit, and it authorizes the purchase of an eastern indigo across state lines.
Correct,
So
yep.
if you find an eastern indigo within your own state, then you don't generally need a permit.
Sure.
I tell everybody this is the friendliest and the most intelligent of all snakes.
Yes, they are.
They're extremely alert. Breeding wise, they're probably, you'd have to say they're difficult.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things you have to get right breeding eastern indigos. And if you get something wrong, even if you get 9 out of 10 things right, then you're gonna have trouble.
Yep.
A lot of people overfeed their indigos.
They do.
And a lot of people also complain that eastern indigos are messy, so-called messy. But the issue is usually that people are overfeeding them because they will eat, literally, they'll eat 10 times what they need. And the other issue also is UV light. They need UV light, and if they don't get enough UV, then they won't digest their food very well.
Right.
And the third issue really is good bedding, an absorbent bedding. And if you get these things right, then they're not messy. They're no messier than any colubrid snake.
Sure. All right, so here's another one that we can take a look at, and who's this?
Now this is a red throat male. He's about 12 years old. And so he's really a good comparison to the all black form, which I just showed you. So it's just a color form, just 2 different color forms. And you can see the reddish color going down his throat.
Man, I don't know too many people that this isn't their dream snake. It certainly is mine, and the Crebos that these are related to are right behind it.
Yes.
These are just big, beautiful colubrids. Thank you so much for showing these off. You've got a whole bunch of them for sale between, about right around $1,500 each, which is a really good price for these.
That's low price.
That's very low price. Are you selling a lot here?
Up to around $2,600.
Right. You selling a lot here? You having a good show?
Yes.
That's fantastic. All right.
It's nice to see you, Dave.
Good to see you. Great meeting your snakes. Yeah, just amazing. As always, it would not be the Reptile Super Show without running into Edgar from Gecko Gen. You have the coolest geckos here. You always do, you always have, and I think you've outdone yourself here with this guy.
We introduced him some time ago, and his name is Apocalypto.
Apocalypto, I love it.
And so this is actually a morph that I produce in-house, and this morph I coined the name monochrome. The monochrome, it's a gene that actually goes from very light base, and it has a tiger influence in it that allows it for it to express many different levels of tigering. That goes from, as you can see, very light tigering to, perhaps I can show you one later, that has way more tigering on it. So this tigering pattern actually comes and goes, and they can fire up or fire down this specific color. This is now a co-dominant mutation. We're calling it this at this point, but I do see flares of a more dominant genotype here.
So what are the genes that we're looking at here?
So what you're looking at is a color gene that actually has the ability to developmentally switch or lose color over time.
Okay, so we've got another one out, and now explain to us what we're looking at here.
So we're looking at different color expressions on the same monochrome, and this is what I've been talking about, the ability for this guy to go from a seamless patternless gecko to expressing various degrees of tigering. Tigers are known to produce harlequins, and so what I've seen in this study is that these specific monochromes can go from patternless to a tiger to a high expression Harley.
Okay, that is really interesting. I mean, the genetics that you are developing and working with in crested geckos.
I am doing this with the help of many of you, actually, with their contributions to purchasing our geckos, because what we're selling here is not just a gecko, we're selling a science. We're trying to further the science that we're using to reproduce, to prove perhaps even help us mitigate some of the cancer issues or any other type of environmental effect that we are currently suffering from. So it's more than just a gecko, it's a sequencing effort. It is a gecko sequencing project.
Now, people would look at these and instantly think axanthic. Is the axanthic gene at play here?
Well, so I suspect that there's some sort of asentism going on here, and the reason is pretty obvious looking at. So the study that took on form was, why is it so dominant? And I noticed that all the monochromes have the tiger background. So now, if you are an experienced gecko breeder, you know that tigers are very important in increasing any of your pattern when you do your crosses. So that's the thing. It cannot be an axanthic, say, literally, because it is not recessive. But here's the thing. The study indicates that this color palette is associated with the expression of the tiger. Tiger is a dominant phenotype in crested geckos. And so I am trying to explain this away in that form. The fact that there is no monochrome without tigering, then that means that the tigering has, dominant influence over, and that's the reason why I'm able to produce these guys without having to inbreed.
So this is one of the most incredible projects I've seen in crested geckos. I don't expect any less from you. I mean, every time I see you here, you have something incredible to show us. So are these for sale?
They are for sale now. You can get them from me if you like. There are other sources, and you're welcome to get them from any of the sources. They will be monochrome. The pitch I want to give you is you can get them from the source and get the knowledge directly from me, or you are welcome to purchase from anybody else. It's a free market. We want to support everybody. We've taken on the last step in our evolution for crested gecko, for geckogen, and so now we're releasing. We're starting the effort, a gecko sequencing project. I have an assay for sex determination as well as for phenotype differentiation, and so that's what we're aiming for. We're aiming to offer the sequencing service to the public,
so that they can genetically test their crested geckos to find out what's in their crested geckos.
Yeah.
And I mean, for a living, you're a science hippie.
I like that.
Yeah.
I thought you said guppy.
Hey, I stole that from some other YouTuber guy out there that says that a lot.
But I am a science hippie.
Edgar, seriously, every time I come to a super show, I come to your booth and I am literally blown away. Not only by your incredible display that you have, but I mean, look at this. How can you not drop your jaw at these? Just absolutely incredible. So seriously, how cool is this expo? You know, if you live on the west coast of the United States, or frankly anywhere else in the world, it's really worth the trip to come here to the LA area to come to one of the Reptile Super Shows. So real quick guys, I just want to give a real quick shout out and a thank you to all my Patreon supporters. If you would like to become a Patreon supporter and further support reptile education on this channel, that link is also in the description below. For as little as $3 a month, you can get Rattle-On swag, early access to my videos, and so much more. Again, Patreon link in the description below. So anyway guys, there's lots more reptile adventures coming up. So until then, love the planet, feed your reptile obsession, and rattle on.